Hi, this is Jennifer, RADmom. Thanks for joining me for part 2 of RAD and food issues. There's a lot to say about this issue, and I want to get started right away. This was a requested video from one of our viewers, and I want to thank you and encourage you guys to please ask for what subjects you want to talk about, because there are so many things that I want to talk about, and if there's a particular topic that's of interest to you, I'd love to start there. So what do we do about all these food issues? Because our kids just want to eat 24/7, and they want to eat everything that's not nailed down. And what do we do about it? The kids, we've tried, a lot of us have tried giving our kids an individual basket and say, okay, this is your food. Nobody else is going to take it. So, you don't have to go hide it in your room. You don't have to, you don't have to hoard this. Nobody else is going to touch your basket. We've tried a lot of different things. A lot of us lock things up. A lot of us do, a lot of different things to try to help with the issue, and it seems like nothing helps. So, what do we do? What can we do to help the issue? That's a loaded question for sure. I will tell you what we've tried, what has worked better than other things, and what where I've ended up with my son. First of all, I'll let you know, okay, of course, for those who don't know, my son is not currently living in our house for safety reasons. Where he is, the facility that he's in, is they are firm believers in the psychological benefits and the healing powers of food. They do everything from scratch. All their food is homemade. They have a cook that comes in, and everything is made from scratch, 3 meals a day. And they cook everything up, and it's funny. Now, where he is not all a bunch of rad kids. God bless them if it were. A lot of it's teenagers, boys and girls, and some of the teens have drug and alcohol issues, and some have just defiance and different things. As a matter of fact, Noah might be currently the only kid there with RAD. I know there was another one, but he may be currently the only one with RAD. But it is funny when I talk to them, all the adults that when I talk to them, they all mention how much Noah eats. It is always a topic of conversation. He sure has an appetite, and Noah sure loves to eat. They always talk about it. So some of the things that are of super importance is that at mealtime, there are no restrictions on how much he is allowed to eat. He can have, he has his serving of food, and he can have seconds, and he can have thirds, because what is being served is a very nutritious meal. So, there is a main course, there are side items, there's almost always a salad. Very rarely is there a dessert, but sometimes there is. But there's always plenty of healthy food available, and he can have seconds and thirds if he wants. And I will tell you, sometimes he does overeat, and he makes himself uncomfortable because he has eaten too much. And that is his problem, and it is something that he knows. He'll tell you, oh, I ate too, oops, sorry. He will tell you, I ate too much food. I ate too much. I should not have eaten that much. And he does actually learn from it slowly, but he'll say, oh, yeah, next time I'm not going to eat that much of such and such. And sometimes he will not eat the meal if, like he was not feeling well Wednesday night, and he said, I didn't eat, I can't remember what the meal was now, but anyway, he had a sandwich because he said, I wasn't feeling well, and I thought if I ate that, I thought I might get sick, so I had a sandwich. So that's huge progress for him, because usually he would just eat too much anyway. And so that is some progress. They don't serve snacks at all there. And that's easier for them to do because they have a huge staff and can manage that. Now at home, that's not so easy. One thing that Dr. Terry Levy and Michael Orland in their book, Healing Parents, one thing that they talk about that I think is just super smart. They say sugar fuels the fire, and I think it's brilliant, and I've seen it in my own life, but it's so true. And they really honor this where Noah is currently. And I've seen it, like I said, in my own life, but we've got to get away from processed foods. These kids can't handle it. And I know my body doesn't do well on it either. But, fruits and vegetables and real food. I know I have personally adopted the Whole30. If you haven't heard of it, it's just a book and it's a website and you can read it. But, getting back to what people would have fed their families, 30, 40, 50 years ago, this is better for our kids. The processed foods, they rev up our kids and it doesn't do well. And I'm not trying to get on some, crazy, no preservative bandwagon, except for the fact that it does seem to be a difference in our children. Now, when we go on vacation, and Noah does come home, he comes home and visits and stuff like that. Now, he doesn't stay in our house because it's not really fair to my daughter. She doesn't feel safe. She loves my son to death. She loves her brother. But my son stays with my mom, and we, go visit there, but then we come home and sleep here. He sleeps there, that kind of thing. But when we are on vacation, when we are doing something special, then I will buy 12-pack of soda. Actually, I'll usually buy 2 12-packs, one 12-pack for my son and one 12-pack for my daughter, and I'm like, have at it. But we don't just, I don't just let them drink that stuff, and we don't, we can't just have all the junk food, because that sugar does change the way they behave. And so we limit that. We don't eat granola bars, and we don't let them eat any of that processed stuff, really. I mean, I just don't. I've just found, now my daughter doesn't really have issues with it, but my son, oh my goodness, it revs him up, makes him crazy. On Friday nights where he is now, they do have snacks and stuff. They usually have popcorn, but they will let them have candy and stuff like that if a parent sends it up. And I'm one of the big supporters of that. I'll send up candy, usually like once a month or at least every other month. I'll send up enough candy for the boys' dorm. Obviously he's in the boys' dorm. So I'll send up enough for the whole dorm to have, a pack of candy, or sometimes I'll even send enough for them to each have 2 packs of candy. So, I support all that, but, not on a regular basis. I mean, and that's one of the things that just doesn't work for him. And according to, like I said, the book Healing Parents and Dr. Levy and Michael Orland's, they do talk about, keeping away from the preservatives and the packaged foods and keeping it fresh and whole and all that stuff. It's not a huge part of their book. I don't want you to think that that's what they talk about mostly in their book. It's not. It's 2 pages talk about food, and that's it. But they do talk about it in person too. I'll tell you guys all about my trip there sometime. That'll take days and days and days, because it was huge part of our lives. But they do talk about it in their book, and they just say keep it fresh and keep it real. So anyway, when Noah was at home, we converted what was our pantry in our house, which our house was like made in the early 70s. So we had a small closet, basically, that was a pantry. We converted that into what we actually called an AntiNoah Closet. We put a padlock, or not a padlock, but a lock that had a combination keypad on it. So it was kind of an AntiNoah Closet, had a lock on it. Emma and I knew the combination to it, and Noah didn't. And inside that cabinet was everything that we needed to keep him away from, which included any kind of junk food that we did have, and any items that were not safe for Noah. Knives, medicine, all medication was kept in there. Any food that was considered, like if we went to the grocery store, anything that he wanted to pig out on that first day, because as soon as you got home from the grocery store, he wanted to eat everything special that first day. And it's like, hey, this has to last us, usually I only wanted to go once a week. And so I'm like, this has to last us for the whole week. And he wanted to eat all of his favorite things on that first day. So I was having to put, half the groceries into that particular closet, which, originally had been a pantry. So it wasn't, that hard of a thing to do. But anyway, so that's one of the ways that we handled it. But, we tried to, keep from the snacking. But it was a nightmare, because he was always in the kitchen, always wanting to be into something. And I did find all kinds of stuff in his room, especially once we, moved out of there. There were wrappers, there were, all kinds of stuff that I would find in there. And so it was a matter of doing the best that I could at the time. But he was into all of that stuff. He was, some of the stuff that he had in there, the wrappers too, I'm like, gosh, I don't even remember buying this product, like this brand of things. I don't even know where he got it. But it is a nightmare. But my advice is fresh. Feed them huge meals, give them lots of food, and then cut out the snacks, and try to lock stuff up. I mean, I know it's a nightmare. It costs $70 for the special lock that I put in the cabinet, on the closet cabinet in the kitchen, and it changed the door. So when we moved, all the doors had to be replaced. All the doors that we had done that to, which was several. But it made things easier, and it was vital. So I would recommend that. I really would. It's not easy, it's not convenient, it's none of those things, but it's really the only way to be, in my opinion. So big meals from scratch. I mean, I know it's hard, but that's, I think, the answer. I really do. So good luck. I hope that answers your question. If you have some follow-up questions, please post those down below and I will answer them. If you have another topic you'd like to discuss, post that too. I'd love to get to it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Have a great day.